Good evening, book lovers of the internet. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am BookNerd802, and in this video, I am going to be speaking about a very recent movie. I believe it was released yesterday or the day before. This one is called Karate Kid Legends, and I went to watch it with a friend of mine yesterday, and although I wasn't disappointed, I wasn't particularly impressed either. As a matter of fact, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I believe it was about an hour and 30 minutes long. Could have very easily been longer, in my opinion. And there will be spoilers ahead, so if you haven't yet watched the movie, please click away. Um, unless you plan on not watching the movie altogether. So yeah, I feel as though nostalgia is clearly holding this movie together, and Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan just make that fact more obvious. Just their presence indicates that people are watching these movies because they're there, because they have so many fond memories of the past. And it's Ralph Macchio, not Ralph Macchio, like in Espresso Macchiato, by the way. Made a bit of a mistake there. I'm not quite sure whether I said it incorrectly on the channel before or not, but it's Macchio based on interviews I've heard with the guy. So it came across as extremely formulaic and followed the exact same pattern as the other Karate Kid movies, including the Jackie Chan one, but the fight scenes were incredible, and I also had a good laugh predicting what would happen and hitting the nail on the head 9 out of 10 times. For instance, um, Daniel LaRusso bringing up Mr. Miyagi, or for instance, Daniel telling his students to maintain balance, to find their balance, the inner peace sort of stuff he always brings up. So I honestly think the movie would have been better without all the romance. In fact, the first half of the movie was mostly romance, which I was not a fan of. There was also a good merge of kung fu and boxing, which I enjoyed honestly, and then karate came in as well eventually. Um, but overall, I don't understand why the romance was necessary, and it was not my cup of tea. Well, as a matter of fact, I kind of do. Why they had to bring in a romantic interest, because they had to follow the pattern of the first couple of movies. The same exact pattern, by the way. There was no originality there, but at the same time, there was too much of the romance, in my opinion. So, yeah, this certainly did not capture the ingenuity of Cobra Kai, but I suppose the movie with Jaden Smith is now canon, if I'm not mistaken, based on the Ralph Macchio autobiography, which I just finished reading, and which I will be making a video review of after this one, probably. It was never classified as canonical, but now with thanks to this movie, this Karate Kid Legends movie, since Jackie Chan is brought in, it is officially canon, and I'm grateful for that, even though Jaden Smith, as far as I know, is not mentioned. Um, Let me know whether I am getting anything wrong about this in the comment section, because some aspects tended to be rather confusing. So do let me know in the comment section whether I am mistaken in anything.
This is the movie ticket, by the way, just in case any of you doubt that I watched it yesterday um, at the cinema. So yeah, I mentioned earlier in the video that it could have very easily been a longer movie, and in fact, it came across as rushed, and several points in the story did not make sense, no logical sense whatsoever. And one of those points which stuck out, which I can still remember, um, 24 hours later, basically, was when the chick, the female main character, takes her Asian friend to the street where her ex's gym is. And this didn't make any logical sense, but it did serve the purpose of stirring up drama and to inform the viewers of how things would eventually pan out, because um, this was the way in which we were introduced to the antagonist, and the female character told her Asian friend that um, he shouldn't pass through that street in New York for that reason. So, to give you some context about the movie, by the way, we have this kid from Beijing who lives with his mother. His older brother is killed um, after winning a tournament having to do with martial arts. He is stabbed to death, and they go all the way from Beijing to New York to live their lives in a different way, because they want to forget the horrible things they had to endure, of course. And um, this guy's mother tells him that she doesn't want him to fight anymore, so instead of fighting himself, he teaches another guy how to fight better, but then he gets involved anyway. That is basically it. And as far as I know, it all boiled down to there being pizzas with stuffed crust. I suppose that was more of the main point of the movie than anything else. So with movies like this, I usually tend to side with the antagonist, as was the case with Johnny Lawrence or William Zabka's character. But with this one, I hardly felt a connection being made with any of the characters, and honestly, I was rather disappointed in that regard. I don't feel as though there was plenty of character development. It could have been done way better, and yeah, the characters just, most of them seemed to come across as not even wanting to be there, despite the martial arts and the fighting scenes being fantastic. That was um, one of the redeeming qualities of the movie. Um, so, quite a bit of a huge spoiler alert here, by the way, so I'll give you 3 seconds to click away. Another huge redeeming quality of the movie was when William Zabka showed up during the final few minutes of the movie, and it absolutely made it the best conclusion to probably any movie I've ever watched before. Just a bit of an exaggeration there, but it was pretty amazing. And bear in mind that I hadn't seen these characters since the conclusion of Cobra Kai season 6, so Lawrence's banter was definitely more than welcome, and he always brightens a room with his presence. Honestly, he has so much aura, and his personality is one which I find to be quite relatable in several ways. He does mean a lot to me as both an actor and a character, and in fact I can't really express how much this franchise means to me, but this movie in particular fell rather flat and took way too long to get to the point, whilst at the same time not being long enough. And I feel as though there was more balance in the Jackie Chan movie, which is ironic considering that there was more balance in a movie where there was no Daniel and Jackie Chan held the reins basically. I'm not saying that the 1984 movie didn't have any balance, because that was brilliant and still probably one of my favorites in the whole franchise. So Chan's stunts are still insane, and I honestly look forward to seeing him in Rush Hour 4. I believe he confirmed that he would love to participate in another Rush Hour movie. I would be one of the very first people to watch that movie. And yeah, it's hard to distinguish between Jackie Chan and the character he's portraying, much like it is a challenge to do so when it comes to Machio and Daniel. They have blended into this sort of single entity at the stage. But that is all I had to say about Karate Kid Legends. Um, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Take a look at the rest of my content, because why not? It's absolutely amazing. And I will see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.